In a shrinking world, Hong Kong's role as Europe's gateway to Asia and Britain's role as Asia's gateway to Europe will reinforce the bonds between our two societies. For all these reasons, my government and I will continue to take the closest interest in Hong Kong and in its development. The British Consulate General, which will be inaugurated in a few hours' time, will be our largest in the world. The Sino-British Joint Liaison Group will continue for another 2.5 years to discuss matters concerning the implementation of the Sino-British Joint Declaration. That joint declaration itself remains in force for 50 years. For many years to come, the Hong Kong connection will command our attention. Hong Kong now faces its transition to Chinese sovereignty in excellent condition, prosperous, stable, and dynamic. Unprecedented though this moment in history may be, we have the utmost confidence in the abilities and resilience of the Hong Kong people. Britain learnt long ago that Hong Kong people know best what is good for Hong Kong. We have no doubt that Hong Kong people can run Hong Kong, as the Joint Declaration promises, and that faithful implementation of the Joint Declaration is the key to Hong Kong's continued success. The eyes of the world are on Hong Kong today. I wish you all a successful transition and a prosperous and peaceful future.
Despite the rain pounding from the peak, a cheer for His Royal Highness having delivered his message from Her Majesty the Queen.
I'd written that speech in one go and I hardly changed a word. It was, as they say, from the heart. But I'm not quite sure where those mighty spectacles came from. Nimrod always breaks me up. Elgar is such a profoundly emotional composer. Then came the heroism of the Prince of Wales, which I mentioned earlier. He managed those last few days in Hong Kong superbly well.
Once upon a time, there was a land where the sun was sacred. That land was Egypt. Today, Egyptians offer you their most precious treasure, the sun. Nothing compares to Egypt.
We are now moving from one level to the next level. We are moving ever closer to an HIV/AIDS vaccine.
This week in Talking Movies, Brenda Blethyn playing a possessive mother who fears she's losing all that she holds dear, and Sir Ben Kingsley on the business of acting.
So leaving what had been our home for 5 years was quite a wrench. My final duty was to send a telegram to the Foreign Office. I have relinquished administration of this government. God save the Queen. Patton.
When we look at the happiest people, without exception, that means every single one we've looked at, have strong, supportive social relationships. That tells me something. This isn't a correlation. This is a perfect relationship.
The formal ceremonies in the convention centre were, to be honest, a bit stiff and po-faced. They were the result of months of line-by-line negotiation. One particular issue of dispute was which side should take precedence. We resolved it by holding our nerve, and we got what football commentators might call a score draw. Jiang Zemin referred explicitly in his speech to the development of democracy in Hong Kong. It was interesting that he felt obliged to say this. He was rather a jolly chap. I saw him several times afterwards when I was a European Foreign Affairs Commissioner. I was told then by the Chinese Foreign Minister, in about 2001, that after all the invective about me, one of the more repeatable remarks that I was a sinner condemned for 1,000 generations, after all that, the Chinese leadership apparently regarded me by the 2000s as a force for concord, not discord. So there you are, condemned for 1,000 generations, but earning early remission.